ice, plant, fire, light. Hello, my name's Fox Knight, so they can name it Fox. I love the Avatar. Actually, I got this for like, I can't remember if I got this one for Christmas or not, because I remember I think I got the Fire Nation. I bought myself, and these I got for like my Christmas, birthday, and stuff like that, like 2 years ago. I love Avatar. It's pretty good. And here's the thing too, like okay, just straight out, just so I can say it right now. Like, I went into this with low expectations, especially because I had to watch this a day after it aired, because where I'm watching it, let's just say, needed a time for the official time to be released to allow me to be able to watch it. Take with that what you will. But that being said, I like Avatar. Juan is a badass. Korra is a badass. Aang, I do like Aang. He's obviously the one there. I like Aang's world probably more than I like Aang, but that's beside the point. But going into this, I'd heard the discussions about, Aang's not going to be as childish, and I'm just like, okay, that seems weird. And like, Sokka's not going to be sexist in the beginning. I'm like, all right, that's weird. And like going into, I'm going to say right now, I didn't, like going into it, I was like, I'm not sure. And also Sokka's actor in this, lied, because they wanted, people that are similar. I think they were going for like, I won't say Native American, but natives of like, where the water tribe people are kind of based off of. And this dude lied on his application for that, got the job, found out that he was lied, and they didn't kick his ass off. But I will say, though, if he wants to do Mac tonight, if he wants to be Mac tonight for McDonald's, go for it, man. But that being said, and other than that, I would like him to be replaced just because it's kind of a dick move. But beside the point, is this collar stretched out? But beside the point, I want to watch the trailer. But anyways, beside that point, I did like this series. And I'm not saying that in the sense of, like, I loved Madam Web because of, like, I saw all the cool ideas they were going at, and I kind of want to see this world expanded and all that stuff. I'm, like, but, like, I will say again, the acting was shit in a lot of that. And I kind of understand where they were kind of going, like, oh, okay, it's fine. It's a passable movie. This is legitimately good after episode 3. I'll get to that. I'm going to watch the trailer first, and then we're going to get into the whole review, but I need clips to kind of point at, and I'm gonna hope this kind of helps with that. But this honestly did what the M. Night Shyamalan one was trying to do a lot better, while also making it to where this is still different from the original one, to where there is kind of a reason to come watch, is what I would say. We'll get into it. Let's just begin in 3, 2.
Aang, you must master the Avatar state.
It can be the ultimate weapon. Or it can save your life.
Everyone is counting on me.
Experience.
To save the world.
The
I
arrival
don't know what I'm doing.
of the Avatar.
Imagine what'll happen if you don't even try.
Netflix presents.
What is that?
A joy to watch. After episode 3. A visual feast.
I thought you firebenders had some guts.
Spectacular.
I don't know where this will all lead. The one thing I do know is this is just the beginning.
I kind of hope it is, because I kind of want to see more. And no end stinger? Oh, no end stinger. Okay. So. This legit. Okay, so here's. Okay, I want to talk about the first 3 episodes real quick. Oh, no, actually, you know what? No, let's go into different parts. The bending. Because the bending is a major part of this. The bending is actually really good. Especially compared to M. Night Shyamalan. Is it as good as... Oh yeah, I forgot to show the Zuko pen. Is it as good as the show? No. Or the animated show. No, it is not. The animated show still is leagues above on that note. As well as energy, movement. Like, you can look up comparison videos of, like, Aang and Boomy's fight in this. Compared to the animated one, there's more movement, there's more character, stuff like that. It's really much good. But other than that, it is a pretty decent bending stuff. They did take some liberties with it, because maybe I'm just remembering Avatar wrong. Firebenders usually don't channel fire into a ball of chi, like blast, and then go, and then go. I think maybe one or two maybe have done that. But as far as I know, firebending mostly goes like, you do a punch, you shoot out a fireball. I don't really remember them going, like, I don't remember that. I could be wrong. I don't remember that. I remember because I'm pretty sure firebending's fighting style was more punch. When you throw a punch, it shoots a fireball. Punch, kick. It's sudden, very sudden movements. That's what it is until eventually they learn the fire. Even then, the dragon style one is still more sudden movements as well. That being said, and like again, like in the beginning, it's kind of weird. Like you'll have like Katara will be going, "Oh, look at my water bending," and you'd imagine the water would be spinning around, like following her hands in a sense. Instead, it's just in a ball, just kind of like, and I'm just like, okay. Again, pushing slightly past that, it gets better. The bending is actually pretty decent. Yeah, like stuff like that. It's honestly, yeah, it's honestly pretty decent. Like, it's not M. Night Shyamalan where you have 5 benders going, huh, huh, yeah, and then just a little rock goes, wee. Like, it's none of that shit. It's actually, like, good bending. Again, not the greatest bending, but good bending. Okay, so let's get to the writing of it. Because here's the thing, I gotta make a review of the One Piece remake. Because this and the One Piece remake have a bit in common. Like, they take series, whatever. And they squish it, a lot of it together to try to get all the main plot points going, while also, getting all the main plot points going, and hopefully, if done correctly, like in One Piece, you'll get plot points mixed together extremely well. Yeah, see, like, stuff like that's so freaking good. You'll get the plot points mixed together really, really well. You'll get, you'll have an arc, you'll have, like, the arc with the cat pirates, but then you'll also have Garp coming in at one point. You'll have the training of these guys going on, the training with these Native Marine guys, while also, the Straw Hats are whatever. That's great. The first 3 episodes of this, and even like one part, like maybe I think it's still in the first 3 episodes. The writing is weird. The writing is rushed a lot, and in a sense, okay, fine, because I can just watching this, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, the writers are Zuko fans. And I say that in a sense because out of all the characters in this, Zuko, Iroh, shit to do with the Fire Nation, all that stuff, a lot of that, I think even from the very beginning, they take way more time with it. And I think every scene with Zuko and any scene with Zuko and Iroh and like the fire. What are you doing? Stop that. All that stuff. It is done extremely well. Then you have stuff with like Aang, where like I'm watching it and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense sometimes. Like, one of the big issues that the creators kind of said, or the creators of this show, I should say, not the creators of Avatar, because the creators of Avatar is bailed. They brought up, hey, like they're like, Aang's not going to be as childish as before, which brings up some continuity issues later, because, or like some story issues, really, I want to say, because here's the thing, like, we do get, like, in the very beginning, we get a bit more of Aang in the, again, it's weird and rushed. Like, we get, like, there's going to be, at the Southern Air Temple, there's going to be a comet celebration, celebrating the comet coming in, and all of the air nomads are coming to then, to come to this celebration. And I'm like, really? All of them went? Really? Not one old air nomad went, I'm staying home. What the hell do you mean? No one air nomad's like, I'm just gonna hang out here for a bit. Or like, I don't know, some baby air nomads. They're like, oh, you know what? Or some, like, whoever takes care of the baby air nomads like, no, we're gonna watch the babies. You go ahead. He's been a little sick today. We'll just stay at the Western Air Temple or some shit. Like, no, every air nomad went to this one place on the day of Sozin's Comet, and all got wrecked by the Fire Nation. Sure. I was like, okay, fine. But here's the thing. Like, they have the whole thing, the stuff with Aang and Gyatso, especially Gyatso. Like, it is, honestly, what all this is. It's cool seeing the nomad stuff like that. And also, I'm going to say this right now. Some people are jumping on the hate train a little bit too fast. Because I like, my first thing, because again, Twitter. On Twitter, the first thing I saw was like, I knew this show was going to be shit when Aang started flying without his glider. And I'm thinking like, oh shit, yeah, that would be... Yeah, wait, no, did they take out his glider? But then this opens up, showing him with the glider and everything, the whole Aang will save the world, but it's not that. It's like another thing saying the Aang, Avatar left and all this shit. And I'm just looking at that and I'm like, Hanson, what are you doing? Hold on, give me 1 minute. What are you doing, Hanson? What are you doing? Here. There, take it. Sorry. But like, shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, but yeah, all the Airbenders are just there. It's like, okay, fine. Oh no, that was it. Gyatso, they very much the Council of Air Nomads tell Gyatso like, look, you gotta tell him he's the Avatar. There's no getting around this. Tell him he's the Avatar. You have to do it. And Gyatso's like, all right, fine. They go to, which is a thing that I like, that each of the nations has a temple for the Avatar, which is important later. Which is very important. But give me a minute. And he tells him, you're the Avatar. Aang's like, holy shit, this is a lot to take in. You know what? And like pretty much at the end, he's like, like towards the end of the night, he's like, you know what? This is a lot. I'm gonna go clear my head. So he jumps on Appa and flies off to go clear his head. Just so happens, the Fire Nation attacks. Not with tanks, though. Like, the Fire Lord, along with, like, just a bunch of soldiers kind of just like, aha, we're here! The comet's above us! We're gonna burn ya! Like, that's it. Like, there's no, like, tanks climbing up the edge. The tanks get mentioned. We never see them, which I'm just like, why? Like, did the modeler, did you not pay the modelers enough to make the tanks? Like, it's just, like, 10 firebenders jumping up here, take on the entire Air Nation, all at once. Stop it. Take the entire Air Nation all at once. Really? Alright, fine. And he even goes like, well, like, the Sozin goes, well, any other day you all would be able to fight me, but not during the comet. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but still, I think you would have more than 10 soldiers to take on, I'd imagine, hundreds of air nomads. I kind of think it balances out a bit. If you only have 10 Fire Nation soldiers and hundreds of air nomads. Kind of think it balances out. But, no. Anyways. So they all die. Aang, while trying to clear his head, not run away, clear his head, same thing. Water comes, hits him, frozen in ice with Appa, whatever. Then after that, hundreds of years pass. Sokka, Katara find Aang, and they're like, "Oh, we found him." And then they get back to the thing. He's knocked out, and I can only describe the next part as because here's when Zuko and Sokka are fighting in front of the thing where, Gran is a narc. Gran is a narc. This woman, she does the whole thing. Air, water, what is it? Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the whole opening intro, you know it. She says the whole intro, word for word, beat for beat, and I'm like, oh god, okay. We're getting the rememberies, remember, and I'm like, all right, fine, give me 1 minute, mate. Outside? You go outside? Come on. But yeah, so I'm like, alright, you're gonna try to run off in nostalgia. Alright, fine, whatever. And I'm like, alright, fine, whatever. And then Granny keeps on going, he's the last of the air nomads. A little bit later, he's the Avatar. And then a little bit later, okay, hold on. Okay, so after that, there's the whole thing. Zuko comes, attacks, and gives himself up. And then this is the part where there was a glimpse of showing just how good the show would be. Because when Aang is trapped in the cell on Zuko's boat, Iroh comes to talk with him. And talked with him respect and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I like this. Give me more of this. I want to see more of Iroh and Aang interacting. Because in the first few episodes, I don't think Iroh ever talked to Aang. We never really got Aang and Iroh. We only got, Iroh and Zuko, which isn't bad. But, it'd be cool to see, what Iroh would think talking to this guy. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Anyways, Aang escapes. Katara suddenly pulls up a water blast when fires get shot at him. I'm like, all right. And again, the firebenders are like, channel fireball, then. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Just punch. Just punch and you'll shoot a fireball. That's how that works. But whatever. Even in the very end when Sozin's comment, when freaking the Fire Lord goes, yeah! And then fire just streams out of his hand and just napalms the place. Anyways, Aang gets saved. They fly to freaking, he's like, where should we go? Let's go to the air temple. They go to the air temple. They immediately find Gyatso's body. Aang immediately goes into the Avatar state without any build up to it. It kind of just happened. And I'm just like, really? Really? I'm like, that's how you're going to introduce the Avatar state? Just immediately, voodoo. It's really, there's no build up. Let it be the build, because the original one, again, it's the build up. You're at the place, you're looking around, you're seeing all this, and Aang's like, where is everyone? And then eventually I find Gyatso, and then, goes on a rage. Works way better. But anyways, yeah, so I'm like, oh god, this is going to be a rushed piece of shit. And I'm just thinking, what you could have done was have Aang and Katara and Sokka fly to the air temple, because apparently the air temple is just not that far away. Air temple, Zuko and them go to the ice village, or the southern water tribe village, to find the Avatar there after the beam of light and all of Zuko's statues started glowing, which I'm like, okay, that's cool. What wasn't cool was then everyone else where there was a statue of the Avatar, apparently none of their eyes glowed, and there's no sign of the Avatar anywhere else. I'm like, really? Okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, I'm just like, all right, weird, but fine. And then, But I'm like, they go to, like, I'm just, my thought process of easily fixing that. Aang says, hey, maybe if you want to help me find my thing or whatever, I got to go back to the Air Temple. And Katara and Sokka go like, and Katara's like, well, we can't let him go by himself. And they leave. Zuko comes to the town while they're left. They have a whole thing like, oh, look, this is this. Like, where is everyone? Eventually, Gyatso goes kind of crazy and then goes back to the Air Temple, goes back to the water. Okay. I am talking too fast. I'm sorry. My thought process is, and a way to easily fix this whole thing, because they've mixed 2 episodes together in this without really thinking about it, which an easy way to fix this would be simple. Aang one way says, I'm not the last Avatar. My home's over here. I can just go check over real quick. And Katara, word for Aang, convinces Sokka and them to go check out the Air Temple. They go check out the Air Temple. That's when Zuko and them come in. They attack the village, maybe hold it hostage for a second. We have the whole thing of them staying in the air village, like he's like looking for them. Finds Gyatso, kind of goes a little crazy, calms down, goes back to the Water Tribe, and we just suddenly see Zuko's there, and he has it under control, and like, oh shit! And then you have the whole fight, and gives himself up, thing, get on the bison, fly away, whatever. Like, I feel like that would be a much easier fix than just rushing that one thing, because that's all. I'm like, oh shit, like this is gonna piss off a lot of people. Oh, the flying thing, right? Sorry, a lot of people jump on the hate train. I train when they say like, oh yeah, Aang's just flying without the glider. He's not flying. He's hovering using like wind and shit, and it's not him really even flying. Like it's him like just again gliding like downward. And we've seen that in the actual cartoon. Like calm your shit. There's actual shit to get mad at about this. Again, the first 3 episodes, because there's weird mix-ups, like eventually, like when they go to Omashu, Bumi isn't really even like mentioned until the 3rd episode, where again all like first like 2 and 3 kind of happen at Omashu, but Aang sees another Airbender. It's like, oh my god, and it's like, no, it's the kid in the wheelchair, because they took Omashu, mixed it with the people from was it Eastern Air Temple with flying around and shit. And all I'm thinking, look at that, I'm like, why does that kid have a wheelchair that can fly? In the original cartoon, we know why. They're living in an air temple, and there would obviously be like stuff showing like the gliders and shit. So that makes sense on why this kid would have that. Doesn't really make sense why they would have it now, or he would have it now. But they mixed 3 things together in that episode. They mixed Omashu, Jet and his like Robin Hood guys, and this dude, and the Tinkerers at the Air Temple. Mix those 3 around again, and all Secret Tunnel. They mix those things around, and I'm like, okay. Again, feeling a little too rushed. But they kind of start pulling it through. Jet is bombing shit of like enemy Fire Nation spy thing. This guy is a spy for the Fire Nation, giving them plans to build, the airship. I'm like, okay, I'm liking kind of where this is kind of going, but again, it's still feeling a little rushed. And everyone's kind of angry all the time and sad. And I'm just like, I get it. It's a war, and the thing is, the creator said like, we're trying to get that Game of Thrones people to come watch it. I'm like, why? And someone brought it up on Twitter. Someone brought up like, why are you trying to get the Game of Thrones crowd? They're the people who grew up with your shit, who grew up with this. They're gonna come watch this regardless if you just made it faithful. But in any case, so that shit happens. There's not really a lot of fun. Bumi's whole thing, like turning Katara and Sokka into like crystals, that doesn't happen. Something kind of happens like that. It's like a trap at one point. It's testing Aang. And later he does like a whole few tests, like, do you want steak or do you want, seaweed soup? And they're like, yeah, seaweed soup, because, I'm vegetarian. And he's like, all right, well, you might actually be right. They do make Bumi way more like crazier and I feel like angrier in this, which I liked, honestly. I did like that. And also another thing that I actually did like too is Zuko's crew. Because when these guys, when they're attacking the Southern Water Tribe, I kind of looked at them like, really? You're not going to give them the Stormtrooper helmets? You know, the cool Fire Nation armor with the Stormtrooper, like, faceplate? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, because I like that design. I'm like, it's cool. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, why the hell don't these guys have that? I'm like, what the hell? And also, another thing, Aang has the bison whistle immediately. I'm like, why do you have that right now? Again, there's a lot of things. And here's the thing, because it's weird, because a lot of the first 3 episodes feel extremely rushed, but then you find out, like, okay, they're skipping the part where he buys the bison whistle. Okay, they're skipping the part where Katara gets the water tribe scroll, because Gram is not only a narc, she's also a dumbass who's like, yes, my granddaughter is trying to learn water bending. I'm going to hide this scroll away from her, because it's too dangerous while she lives here. I'm just like, why is it too dangerous? Who in your village is going to narc to the Fire Nation? If anything, it's probably better you teach her to waterbend, or she learns to waterbend, because she'd be surrounded by goddamn water, and you guys can actually build up the north. You could probably move somewhere the hell else, except a big-ass open snow area. You could literally go build, like, Katara would probably be, like, the only architect right now, but still, like, she could build, like, a bigger town. She could make a nicer like way there. She could literally like fish water out of help fish water out of, like, there's so many ways having a waterbender that, like, you're an idiot. Why? Again, that was some of the stupid writing, because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to keep the scroll away from her. Like, oh, what if the Fire Nation comes back? Who's gonna taste shit? How many visitors do you have that come here? Do you think you have Fire Nation like spies in your little town? Are you, what? In any case, some writings get better. Again, like I said, because like Aang has already the bison whistle, and I'm like, that's weird. Why does he already have that? Turns out, Boomy made it years ago, and like that's one of the reasons he shows it like to Boomy eventually to make Boomy show his friend or whatever, like, you made this for me. You said it was like this, but I thought it looked more like a bison. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, that's pretty smart. Or like right here with Zuko's soldiers showing their faces, because they're the Stormtrooper armor set that is there. Those soldiers do exist. But I was like, why the hell is this face open here? It turns out when Zuko, I don't believe this is how it was in the original one, but when Zuko gets brought into the war meeting that eventually will lead to Agni Kai, which will eventually get his face scarred, instead of it being that he talks really like out of turn and that's what gets his face burned, Ozai and whatever general are going to sacrifice the 41st Legion in a war plan thing, and Zuko says, you shouldn't do that. That's bad, you dumbasses. And, gets Agni Kai burned, and pretty much, after, his second in command here, gives Zuko shit and all that, and Iroh goes, can I tell you something? Yeah, because of him standing up for you, because standing up for the 41st people, and, saving their life, he then assigned that 41st, the Fire Lord said, oh, you like the 41st so much, they're gonna be your crew on your exile, and they're like, oh shit, we're the 41st. Like, no shit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, that's smart, because they're giving, almost each of these guys, I guess, quote unquote, more character in a sense. Which even leads to a cool scene later when that's revealed and they all kind of bow to Zuko when he returns after the whole Blue Spirit thing. Which, the Blue Spirit mask, freaking sick. Looks like it came straight out of the show. Looks really nice. Looks very costumey a little bit, but it still looks badass. And his swords look cool. His swords looked pretty much like the cartoon. Almost exactly to it. And I'm like, you probably could have made them a little bit more quote unquote realistic, but fine, whatever. Mask also looked great. I liked it. It's a stage mask, so it can be looking colorful and shit. Fine. Costume designs are also really good. I ain't gonna lie about that. All the costume designs are really good. To the point where, like, you know, when they go to Omashu and, like, Jet goes like, hey, you guys are outsiders. You're like, why would you say that? And then you just look at their clothes like, yeah. Again, my biggest issues, again, kind of come, especially in the early bits, come from there really being no comedy. It's very played everything almost very seriously. It does kind of start breaking when Boomy eventually gives them their blessing, and then, like, they ride down the stone slide, and, like, yeah, and they're having fun. I'm like, okay, I want more of that, please. Give me more of that. Give me more of that fun shit. And then there's other things that happen too. And again, there's some things that get messed up also. Like, again, Aang isn't always happy, cheery, which I feel like probably should have been better. Like, obviously, dark shit happens, but, you know, he plays it off more than the other ones. But, Sokka, another change was that Sokka isn't sexist in the beginning. Also, like, another thing, like, I understand, like, here's the thing. I understand the world has changed. And, like, you know, there's a lot more for female empowerment and all this stuff. I 100% understand that. And I am 100% okay with that. That being said also, why can't Sokka be sexist in this? But the old man in the Northern Water Tribe can. Why can't Sokka be sexist? So that way he can learn when he gets his ass beat by Suki and, you know, learns to not be sexist. Why couldn't he, like, I'm just like, why are you taking that character arc from him? But also, on that same note too, why are you gonna make Suki so, like, boy crazy? Like, she's a straight stalker in this. She'll just appear behind him like Batman, like, hey, you want to fight? Hey, like, I'm just like, oh my god, go away. You're scaring the shit out of me. Like, there at one point, like, Sokka, like, she comes in, Sokka has, like, his shirt off, and she's like, hey. Just, like, looking at him, like, straight over, and he's like, and I'm like, I get it's supposed to be funny, I think, but also sexual harassment? Like, get the hell out of his room! I'm looking at him like, switch these roles. Let's see how that plays out. That ain't gonna be good. Trust me, it's not. But yeah, I was like, that's weird. It just made Suki, like, immediately fall in love. Like, I would have liked, they hated each other first because he's a sexist ass, gets his ass beat. He doesn't even dress up in the Kyoshi outfit. Final Fantasy VII had more balls than Avatar: The Last Airbender on that note. So anyways, yeah. And yeah, it was, the first 3 episodes are just kind of rushed, except for everything with Iroh and Zuko, like them interacting with that, or Iroh with, again, like saying, really damn good. Love that shit. But I think it's the 3rd episode or 4th, which one? I can't remember which one. They do add something cool though. Like, here's the thing too. Roku is barely in this. For being the Avatar that preceded Aang, I'm guessing they're saving it for later. But Roku is barely in this season. When he does come in, it's kind of great. But, like, a difference that I liked compared to the animated show is that Aang, though he can talk to his past lives and stuff, I think that's Kyoshi Island, actually, I just saw. Though he can talk to his past lives and all that. Oh, yeah. The scenery's for great. He can talk to his past lives and all that, but he has to pretty much do it. Oh, here. He has to pretty much do it at their temples.
The ultimate.
Like, it's not just like, okay, just meditate and you can talk to him. He has to specifically go to the temples. If he goes to, Kyoshi's temple, he then, can contact Kyoshi through there, meditating. If he wants to talk to Roku, which eventually if he wants to talk to Roku, he eventually has to go to Roku and do it. And again, I get it. Female empowerment. Love it. Same note. Maybe have Zuko, first notebook writings that we see in the book, not be just the female avatars and just the female avatars like posted on his wall and stuff like that. Can you see where it kind of looks kind of weird? Where it kind of looks like, he's really obsessed with the female ones. I know he's a young teen boy, but just, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. There's a lot about this. But I did like the bits where, go to the temple, he can talk to them. Because we get not only a talk with Kyoshi, not only a talk with Roku, we get a talk with the water tribe, the last water tribe one before Korra. And I'm like, oh shit. And even then, he kind of sets up for Korra. Because he straight says at one point, yes, evil spirits were coming through and I had to stop and fight them off. And I'm like, oh shit, they're setting up for Korra. Like, holy shit, alright, I'm okay with this, let's go. Korra's my favorite. Actually, I was honestly thinking that they should just skip the Earth Air Avatar and just go straight to the Fire one. But I kind of now have, like, Earthbending more. I kind of want to see what the next Avatar is going to be, too. And anyways, beside that, we don't get the Roku, like, taking over Aang's body, but we do get Kyoshi doing it on the Kyoshi's Island or whatever. That was pretty neat. But yeah, like seeing every time Aang goes to like one of these temples to talk with the avatars, it's kind of cool. Also, I love Roku in this because Roku is funny and he adds way more levity and laughing. Because at one point, like when Aang pops up, Roku goes, "Aren't you supposed to bow? Aren't you supposed to not keep eye contact?" And Aang's like, oh shit. And he's like, "Aren't you supposed to hop on one leg?" And Aang's like, "What?" And Roku's like, "Ha, gotcha." I'm like, oh shit, he's like a funny, happy grandpa in this. I like this Roku. And like, and the thing is, he was like, because even like, Aang's like, oh, I thought you'd be all stoic and doing like Kyoshi. And he's like, no, like, that's Kyoshi saying now. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Because yeah, Roku, like, again, female empowerment, get it, love it. They were like completely like Roku wasn't even mentioned until like there's the episode with the panda spirit and all that stuff. It goes a bit differently. The town is still getting attacked and spirits are getting taken away, or people are getting taken away by the spirits. But so Aang has to go to the spirit world, but he accidentally pulls Katara and Sokka into there, and I'm like, weird. I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen in the original one. I'm pretty sure Sokka gets dragged away, but they don't get pulled in with Aang. But it leads to some cool shit, which again, like I want to say right now, there's a lot more cool shit. Like again, taking away the firebender's ability to create fire, and they have to use a fire source, like M. Night Shyamalan one, but then to try to make, Iroh so freaking amazing because he can firebend without a source. And it's like, no, you're depowering all the other firebenders just to try to make Iroh more special, even though that's something that all the other firebenders could do in the show. No, wrong. In this, it's okay. In this, it's like, okay, Aang can't just talk to the spirits whenever, or just like meditate, whatever. He has to actually go to the temple physically, and then he can contact his other selves. Okay, I like that. That's not a bad change, and it gives more of a reason for different exploration things. That being said, too, I like how they hint at newer things also, because when they enter the spirit world, it's not just one spirit he meets. It's not just the panda spirit he meets in that episode, which even then, like, they kind of say, oh, the trees will grow back, it's fine. Whatever. But he does look badass, though, the panda spirit looks badass. But the first spirit they meet is Wan Shi. And I'm just like, what are you doing here? You are way too damn early. But he meets Wan Shi, and Wan Shi looks badass. He's standing on a stump, his wings are all down. It looks like a cloak. And I'm like, oh god, he looks otherworldly. Holy shit, I love this. He tells like, stay on the path, don't do this, Avatar, hello, and okay, bye. Flies away and says like, dangerous stuff here, that your friends will see shit that they don't want to. And like, yeah, they see past events and all that stuff. Sokka has some daddy issues. Katara has mommy issues. Most of that, her mom's dead. But then Ko, the face stealer, pops in, and he's just terrifying because like he'll pop up in the memory, and be like, "Boo, motherfucker!" and grab them and take them away. And I'm just like, okay. all right, that just happened. And like he pops up and like his face looks like an eye, and when it blinks, it switches to a new face. And like I think they took, because I can't remember in the original one. I think it was that like they couldn't look into his face, or they couldn't blink, or they couldn't breathe. It was something like that. They took that out, and I honestly happy they did, because it allowed for Ko to be more of a menacing that that Aang could actually interact with. And Aang pretty much had to leave his friends as well as a bunch of villagers there to go to Roku to the like, hey, weird, you had to deal with Ko. Could you help me figure out how to do that before my friends get face eaten? And then Roku goes, oh yeah, just take this idol from like ancient goddess or whatever. I guess I just stole this shit for fun. I don't know why I stole this thing. Again, not everything's great, but still, it's like, all right, fine, whatever. I also love that each of the temples has like the last Avatar's just collection. Just a collection of shit they've had over the years. All right. But yeah, like they're like the whole thing with Ko and the spirits. I'm like, all right, I'm digging this a lot. There's a 3-tailed fox at one point, and Sokka's like, huh? And I'm like, that's the Moon Girl. And yep, it was the Moon Girl that he falls in love with. Which again, it's really funny because spoilers again, when the Moon Girl dies, eventually Sokka goes, oh man, I'm really sad. But when you learn Earthbending, we can go back to Omashu, so I can meet Suki. And I'm just like, oh my god, shut up. I'm like, your other girlfriend just died. And you're just like, I gotta back up. God damn it. Other than the assassinated Kyoshi of Suki, as well as also other things like Azula plays a major more role in this, where she is like helping Zhao. And like all these things like, oh yeah, General Zhao, I'm gonna need you to go deal with my brother and all this stuff. Here, you're gonna need this. I'm gonna have the Fire Lord help you with this, stuff like that. The Fire Lord has more of a role in this, like training Azula and all this other stuff. Azula doesn't have her blue fire yet. It's still orange, though we see it turn to blue for a second, and then eventually spoilers. At the very end, we see her with the lightning. Azula's two friends are also just there, and I'm just like, all right, fine, whatever. I'm like, I guess you can just make them there. I'm like, you kind of take away, their Azula manipulating them, but maybe you could play with that later, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It was like, really? I'm like, there's no like, okay, she's building a team. All right, whatever. Jade, I think her name was Jade, the bounty hunter, likes Iroh, and I'm like, all right, she calls him cute like multiple times. I'm like, all right, I ship it. I'm trying to think of other things that were changed in so that the blue spirit shit was great. Actually, there's a scene. Actually, wait, is this is Spirited Away? Hold on. I want to show this. Where is it? Hold on. I don't know if you can fully see it. I highly recommend watching this episode to get a better picture of it. That goddamn move, that like spin he did is so sick.
The Avatar has escaped.
Like, look how smooth this is. He just hears it, spins around, and just slices the goddamn thing out of the way. Like, holy shit. Again, like, and here's the thing too. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, the makers of this, like, because they kept almost everything. Like, I don't feel like much of Zuko and Iroh's story and stuff was like taken like too much out of it. Like all their scenes get the needed length. They get their needed length. They make sure Zuko's blue spirit mask looks on point. You probably can't really see it, but looks on point. They give him the two badass swords, which again I feel like they could have added a little bit more to them, but whatever. It's good. Like that. Like I'm like, holy shit! Yes, I love this. They have quiet scenes where characters can just talk for a minute at times. Every time that like Aang and Iroh meet up, like whether it be the jail cell on the boat or the jail cell in Omashu, like it's cool seeing them talk with each other. This show, like legit, like, after episode, I'm gonna say right now, if you're not liking episode 1, 2, or 3, give it till 4. Give it till 4, because that's when shit starts to get good. That's where you're just like, oh shit, it's actually pretty damn good. Yes, it's really good. Like, what episode is this? Episode 6, yeah. Because I don't even know what episode 4 was. But yeah, like, yeah, it's cool. And then, like, there's things like Moon Girl. Again, like, there's a three-tailed fox, and so that's the Moon Girl. Like, she's kind of like the Avatar. She's a half spirit, too, to where, like, in her dreams, she can dream into the spirit world, which I'm like, I don't remember that from the original one, but that's kind of cool if this is, like, a new thing they're going to be doing. Like, yeah, so she kind of has the same thing that Avatar does, where she can cross between worlds. And I'm like, that's kind of neat. I want to see more of that. I want to see how Wan Chi's going to tie into this now, because, you know, Wan Chi appeared way earlier than before, but also it's not in his library. So, like, are we still going to get the library? Because that's kind of important for a few things. Some negatives, Appa and Momo are barely in this, which, you know, saving on effects, I guess. But at that point, too, you couldn't just at least made, like, a Popo puppet, a Momo puppet. But, whatever. I would have saved more money. That being said, when he becomes, when Aang goes to Avatar state with, like, the giant water fish thing, which I ain't gonna lie, I remember when I watched that for the first time, I'm like, oh, is Aang gonna do that, like, every time he goes Avatar state? Like, is he gonna have, like, different forms? Which I was, like, so excited for, and then it turns out, nope, that's not what happens. I'm like, nope, and they're like, nope, that's not what happened. And it's like, alright, whatever, I guess. Yeah, you can kind of see it a little. Yeah. It looks alright. But yeah, like, it's... out of a show that even the creators were looking at this going, nah, we ain't putting our names on this shit. It's actually pretty good. And I'm not saying that in just in a sense of... Because again, Madam Web, I can go into that and look at it and be like, yes, this movie has stumbled many times, and you probably could have used a better actor, but it's pretty decent from the lore standpoint and just building out this world. Madam Web is a decent movie on that note. This went from a decent, okay, fine kind of show, a little bit at the beginning, which I was like, even looking at him like, this is kind of screwing up a lot of things later, to way better, because towards the end of the season, they're having more fun with each other. There, you know, we have this dude who's still a sexist asshole, so, you know, he has to learn a bit. We have some newer ideas, whether it be, like, you know, Aang having to go to the different temples to talk with different avatars, to the point where, like, I want to see when, like, let's say, like, if we go to Korra, her go to Wan's, like, go to Wan's temple, wherever that is, like, that, I think that'd be freaking cool. I want to see Roku take over his body at one point. Karlach, I think, whatever, like, Kuruk couldn't take over Aang's body because he apparently messed up his spirit trying to fight off evil spirits. Like, there's a... And that's the thing, too, that also... Something that can be done with this, too, is because they have the idea that Avatar and Korra are both canon in the original series. So, we could, like, if they really wanted to, we could see Wan. Like, yeah, it would change some things in the Korra standpoint a little bit, really, but we could see Wan if they wanted to. We could see Korra's storyline starting to develop, too, whether it be a centered city, which we see in the comics, we could, the Republic City or whatever, we could see... We know different things, like, we know Wan Chi is there, so, like, they're putting Wan Chi as well as other Avatar spirits there. It's like, alright, yeah, we might see those later. Cool. Like, because both series are over, you can hint at stuff in this one to the next one. Because, yeah, and honestly, I'm hoping this is going to do well. Because it's actually done well. Like, it's not as good as the original cartoon, no, but for what it's doing, it's pretty damn good. Like, it's not like, let's say, the One Piece live action, where I probably am going to say, like, the One Piece live action is probably better, if not way better, than the anime. I'm just going to say that. Maybe book-wise is probably better, but I'm going to say it's kind of better than the anime because it's like what took 60 episodes for the anime to tell, this did in 8 episodes. This, like, animation-wise and all that shit, like, the animation in the original is still good, and I honestly think did the bending better, but this, for live action, this still done it pretty damn well. And that's not even saying of, like, brownie points of, like, oh, yeah, you know, Spider-Man, you know, it's hinting at Spider-Man and all this stuff, and, you know, Madam Web thing. I want to bring that up, because I liked Madam Web, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say it's the greatest movie ever, but I will say, like, this had not only good ideas, but also good graphics to go along with it. Yeah, there's sometimes when you see the CGI model of the character, whatever. But it's done extremely well. This show is done extremely well. There's a lot, it gets funnier towards the end with, like, them actually having fun with each other. I'm like, okay, that's kind of badass. There's, oh my god, I almost missed the part. There's a point where Aang enters Spirit World, and he meets Gyatso. Because Gyatso, like, said, like, oh yeah, everyone else moved on to the great circle of life to, you know, reincarnate. I stood here waiting for you. And I'm like, oh shit. Also, I'm like, okay, and they have a nice touching scene. I'm like, oh my god, I love this. It's freaking great. Also, again, flipped up. God, that's what I was too. Like, remember how I said about Aang leaving to clear his head? Well, then later on, Kyoshi's like, you left because you were a coward. You can't run away from... Everyone's like, you can't run away from this. You're a coward. You did... And I'm like, that would make more sense and would hit harder if Aang actually ran away. It's like if I went outside to go... It's like if like, some shit happened in my house, and I'm like, I need to go outside and calm down. And I go outside to calm down, and I get kidnapped. And they're like, you... And then, like, I don't know... Let's say I had an issue with my wife and my significant other, and like they talk about my child, and they say, like, I don't have kids, but they talk about my child like they need to go to, I don't know, Harvard, and it's like, Harvard, it's gonna be super damn expensive. It's like, okay, we're gonna send them to Harvard. Let me go outside and just think through how I'm gonna get this done. I go outside, and I suddenly get kidnapped. And I come back 20 years later, already graduated, had a shitty life, and then they graduated from somewhere else, and had a shitty life, and they go, this is your fault for running away. It's like, I was trying to get it done. I was just trying, I'm like, oh god. Like, I don't know. The Gaza stuff was great. Yeah, like, again, some things messed up, but I liked stuff like the whistle being brought up. I liked the stuff like the whistle being something Boomy made. I'm like, okay, that good. I liked the faceless soldier here because, yeah, they're actually part of like this whole little family that Zuko's kind of building up. Seeing more of Zula working behind the scenes before she actually comes to attack is pretty good. They made Ozai an actual character other than just a guy hidden behind flames. Oh, another thing that I love, Zuko's... Oh, God, how long am I already talking? Yeah, I kind of guessed 50 minutes. Oh, well, let's keep going. One thing that when Aang escapes, he takes Zuko's notebook about the other, and he reads through it, and that he uses it a lot to find different places, and he says, like, this thing helped me feel better. And, like, you feel like they kind of could become friends until that little bit of Ozai pops into, you know, Zuko's head. And I'm like, oh, shit. Gao, the, whatever, he got snarky as hell for this one. He doesn't get dragged to the spirit world. I guess maybe he did, because he did fall in the water and it was kind of glowing, but I'm not sure if he got pulled into the spirit world like the other one. Like, and then pop up in, you know, Korra later. Moon Girl betrothed, but broke it off. Weird, because there's sexes in that town, but she was able to do that, but okay. They're setting up Korra with evil spirits and Water Tribe fighting evil spirits. Yep. So she does remember the spirit world. Yeah, this girl is spirit hybrids. Oh yeah, the one girl also does a really good pickup line on Sokka, the Moon Girl. She goes, like, oh, I didn't go with him because he's not the boy of my dreams, because Sokka was the boy she met in her dreams. Like, okay, that's a pretty good pickup line. Yeah, Zhao. Like, Iroh, why do you think you could take the city now? Take the North Nation now? Zhao, I have destiny on my side. I don't know, we're all gonna die. I was at one point, like, Katara's eating, like, the seaweed soup, and Aang's like, how does that taste? And Katara's like, at home. I can just imagine just taking a string and just going, your home tastes like shit. The lion turtles are mentioned by Zhao at one point when trying to find shit about the spirits. Sokka immediately forgetting about his girlfriend. Uzula saying, I'm the one. Whoa. Gao, oh shit, Roku wants to kill the fire, or, Iroh wants to kill the Fire Lord. He's like, this is the Fire Lord's doing when they thought Zuko died. Zuko's notebook helping Aang, Blue Spirit. Roku's the best. Roku has some humor. Damn, Aang wanting to return to see Gyatso. Yeah, and he does it. I'm like, oh, that's sad. Gyatso in the spirit world. Ko the face stealer. The panda looked badass. I liked him. Secret tunnels. Katara could barely do water whip. Oh yeah, Katara's skill is something rapid. Like, she could barely do water whip. It's something like she's freezing water. I'm like, I feel like that's something she picked up in the north, but I could be wrong, I guess. My cabbages gets built up a lot. At one point, Sokka and Katara are riding up a stone ramp, and apparently the guy who invents the airships for Fire Nation, he goes, oh, he's like, I invented the delivery system for this place. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Because there's literally nothing mechanical going on about this delivery system. All of it's during earthbending. Shut up. Like, again, first 3 episodes, very shittily written. Everything else after that, goddamn gold. I honestly love it. Like, if there's that picture of, like, Game of Thrones where it's like, stallion, like a perfectly beautiful stallion. In the middle side, it's like kind of okay, and the last one's like Burr! Like that. Like it's not good. God damn it. It's just not good. That's kind of this, but in the reverse. It's like, you know, a stupid ass, and then it's like a stupid drawn ass, and then the rest of it's like a beautiful drawn stallion. This is a really good show. I highly recommend it. I don't know the first 3 episodes, but obviously watch those for context, I guess. But on everything else, this was a decent ass show. Zuko again is probably the coolest one, and I can't wait to see him actually get better hair. And yeah, this is great. I honestly really liked it. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with, you know, keeping to the fire, but like, you know, actual firebending and stuff like that. But yeah, also the, like, what is it? Earth Nation is like, is it southern, like India's like southern Asian people, while you have like the different Asian race, stuff like that. You don't have just a random, you know, different random races in there right now. Though, again, like later on, we will see like an Aztec race if we're keeping everything to thing, which actually there is a whole thing with like Asian people like crossed the Bering Strait and then came to America via that. So it, like, if you're like you know, a Native American or someone who comes in here like me, I have Taino in me. So in a sense, you could technically trace back your lineage to the Bering Strait and then back to like Asia and Japan and stuff like that. That's also why like you know, Native Americans are like, in some senses, look very Asian but darker skinned. Because, yeah, like, yeah. Alright, but yeah, anyways, that's the whole thing. Go look that stuff up. It's kind of great. Thank you for watching the videos I've done. Links are in my face description. I saw my videos. Hopefully enjoy this. I like this a lot. Can't wait for the second one. And hopefully this does good. I honestly kind of hope it does good. Again, I feel like people are going to get turned off immediately from the first 3 episodes because the first 3 episodes are written like shit. I hope those get fixed. And also, I hope they replace Sokka's actor. Nothing against the guy. He eventually does pretty good, but like, you lied on your goddamn thing. We're like, we need, you know, people of this ethnicity. I'm that ethnicity. No, and then they find out, no, you're goddamn not. So, get someone else for that, please. Especially before, like, he gets his sword. Because here's the thing. I do like, Sokka's one of those guys where it's like, okay, yeah, he's, you know, mines and all that shit. Fine. He doesn't get any cool, like, firepower and stuff like that. Whatever. But he does get a badass meteorite sword. And I don't want to see this guy wielding it. I want to see an actual, like, you know, someone else that's better and maybe actually fits the... Anyways. Beside the point, thanks for watching your videos. Hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you later. This is great. I actually like this a lot. Like, I kind of want to go back and watch the actual Avatar stuff now because, like, it is really good.